Leftists have utterly melted down after Disney and ABC indefinitely paused the Jimmy Kimmel live show. Roll this up over at culturecrusader.substack.com. You can find the link in the description below. So if you don't know exactly what's going on Monday night's Jimmy Kimmel live show host Jimmy Kimmel lied to viewers about Charlie Kirk's assassin, claiming he was a MAGA activist. This is specifically what Kimmel said. We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. This is an absolute lie based on all of the evidence that we have in front of us. In fact, at the time that Kimmel aired the episode, Spencer Cox, the governor of Utah, had informed NBC News there clearly was a leftist ideology with this assassin. Additionally, he had revealed that Robinson's roommate, who is the accused assassin of Charlie Kirk, was his boyfriend who was transitioning from male to female. Cox said this: "We do know that the roommate that we originally talked about, we can confirm that the roommate is a boyfriend who is transitioning from male to female, so we know that piece." So following the show, TV network owners Sinclair and Nexstar Media Group announced they would no longer run Jimmy Kimmel Live on their ABC-affiliated stations that they own. While all this was happening, FCC Chairman Brendan Carr indicated he might pursue regulatory options against Disney, which is the parent company of ABC, for misleading the public. He informed Benny Johnson, "This is a very, very serious issue right now for Disney. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to take action on Kimmel, or there is going to be additional work for the FCC ahead. They have a license granted by us at the FCC, and that comes with it an obligation to operate in the public interest. The FCC could make a strong argument that this is sort of an intentional effort to mislead the American people about a very core fundamental fact, a very important matter." Additionally, he called on Disney to make change. Disney needs to see some change here, but the individual licensed stations that are taking their content, it's time for them to step up and say this, garbage to the extent that that's what comes down the pipe in the future isn't something that we think serves the need of our local communities. But this sort of status quo is obviously not acceptable where we are. After this, an ABC News spokesman announced that Kimmel's show was being preempted or canceled. He said Jimmy Kimmel Live will be preempted indefinitely. Numerous leftists threw a fit following this news, including former President Barack Obama, who rushed to defend Kimmel and wrote this on X: "After years of complaining about cancel culture, the current administration has taken it to a new and dangerous level by routinely threatening regulatory action against media companies unless they muzzle or fire reporters and commentators it doesn't like." This is real rich coming from the guy who literally weaponized the IRS to go after Tea Party organizations that were critical of his administration. The same guy who was spying on President Donald Trump during his 2016 election run. I mean, you literally can't make this stuff up. Just total and utter BS. Any way they can try to manipulate people to spread a narrative. And it wasn't just Obama. On CNN, its senior political commentator Van Jones described the show being put on pause as a red line that has been crossed for our industry, for the First Amendment, for the right of people to speak. There was nothing hateful about what was said. I don't think these people actually know or understand what free speech is. I think the majority of Americans don't even understand what free speech is because we've been gaslit into believing that free speech is we can just say whatever we want. Anything that comes out of our mouth should be allowed to happen. And that's just absolutely not what free speech is. Free speech has to be aligned to seeking the truth and having the truth as an end, having the truth and the good as an end. And if it is not aimed at doing that, it is not free speech. And that is a moral definition that Dr. Edward Fazer obviously talks about a lot, a Catholic philosopher. I think he's based out of some university in California. I'm not exactly sure off the top of my head. But free speech isn't just you got to say whatever you want to say. And obviously, corporations, individuals have lots of different social media codes of conduct, etc., that they are allowed to enforce that the First Amendment doesn't necessarily apply to. So anytime someone's saying this, just ask them, what does free speech mean? Because I think a lot of people don't actually understand what it means. And furthermore, the FCC is literally empowered to actually engage in things such as this. They have a number of rules that allow them to step in and regulate these companies, as Brennan Carr was saying, especially when they are lying about an event such as the assassination of Charlie Kirk, which, in my opinion, that is exactly what Jimmy Kimmel was doing. He knowingly lied to the public in an attempt to mislead them to spin a fake narrative that the assassin was somehow not a leftist. And it's just despicable. But it goes on. California Democrat Eric Swalwell went on CNN and claimed that Kimmel had a right to his TV show. I mean, these people are just grasping at straws. He said this: every night he has a right to come into any house that wants to watch and entertain Americans, just as Greg Gutfeld on Fox has a right to be not funny and go on his network and entertain Americans. It's a part of who we are, and frankly, it should shake every American that the President of the United States is out there firing comedians who make fun of him. So a whole host of lies here from Eric Swalwell. No, Jimmy Kimmel does not have the right to come into any house that wants to watch and entertain Americans because ABC doesn't want to hire him. The TV stations don't want to air him, and they have the right to not air Jimmy Kimmel. So this guy is completely turning free speech on its head, right? He's trying, it's hilarious. You can't even make this stuff up. These people are trying to position Kimmel as some free speech martyr when they're the ones who are actually attacking the speech of the television networks and stations, I guess the stations is probably the proper term, that don't want his lies being broadcast on the stations that they own. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. And then it wasn't the President of the United States was not out there firing him. It was Disney and ABC who made the decision to pause Jimmy Kimmel Live. It was not President Donald Trump. Drew Hernandez reported multiple individuals, including Malcolm Nance, Chris Clue, and Wajahat Ali, called for boycotts against ABC and Disney from both the talent level and consumer level. Wajahat Ali wrote this: every major talent that works for ABC and Disney should refuse to show up for work until Jimmy Kimmel is reinstated. That is actually something I agree with, because pretty much everything that is coming out of the Walt Disney Company and has been coming out of there has been total leftist propaganda meant to destroy our society and rot our minds. Anyway, so he goes on and says Marvel movies need to shut down. Ditto the sitcoms. Collective boycott. Corporations love money more than anything, and this will harm them and force them to do the right thing. I've talked about this over a number of years. I don't think that that is true. I think a lot of these corporations are indeed are ideologues, right? They don't really care about the profit incentive. They don't really care about the money as much anymore, because a lot of times they are run by these ideologues, and the ideology is what matters to them more so than the profit incentive. Anyways, Malcolm Nance wrote, boycott ABC television, made it clear to everyone they will get the Target treatment. Were leftists boycotting Target? I don't know if I remember that. I know people on the right were boycotting them for their embrace of the degenerate LGBTQ plus agenda when they were selling all kinds of disgusting underwear for toddlers. I mean, just horrendous, evil, wicked stuff happening there. You've got Harry Sisson. He wrote this: we are witnessing the most brazen attack on free speech in modern American history. Elon, Trump, and MAGA said they were free speech wars. It's the exact opposite. Again, these are the people saying that, trying to make Jimmy Kimmel a free speech martyr when they're the ones attacking the actual television station's decision to not air Jimmy Kimmel. Like, they chose not to air Jimmy Kimmel. They don't want his lies being spread to the American people, and they're right to make that decision, because there is no right to lie. Lying is always a moral wrong. It is not something that we should be engaging in whatsoever. It is always a sin. In another post, Sisson wrote this: are you kidding me? Sinclair, a huge broadcaster, is now demanding that Jimmy Kimmel apologize and donate to TPUSA before they put his show back on the air. Trump is attacking our rights. It's not a hypothetical. It's happening. So I don't even know how he makes this leap. First off, he's going after Sinclair, who doesn't want to air Jimmy Kimmel's lies and have the decision not to do that and made that decision. And then somehow he's saying it's Trump attacking our rights when he actually notes that it was Sinclair who's the one who refused to air Jimmy Kimmel Live. I mean, you just cannot make this stuff up. People not using their brains and trying to convince people of this stuff. I mean, it's just, it's sad. It's sad. It's pitiable that this is the type of rhetoric that our culture is engaging in now. And so many people are buying into a lot of this stuff too. It is really sad. We should be praying for these people as Christians. We need to pray for these people. That's what Christ instructs us to do. Pray for the people that persecute us, pray for our enemies, pray for our neighbors. But at the same time, we have to be able to call this stuff out. We have to be able to say no to the wickedness and evil that these people are promoting. And it looks like for the first time in a very long time, people on the right have finally kind of unified and had enough of this stuff and are not going to be backing down from this and are willing to actually engage in the fight. But we have more here. Brooklyn Dad says, this is absolute BS. Disney is pulling Jimmy Kimmel's show indefinitely because he made some comments about Charlie Kirk, bending the knee to fascism again. F you, Disney cowards. I stand with Jimmy Kimmel. What is fascism? I don't even know what that word means anymore. I think it's just a term to try to denigrate people that you don't like. Anyone who's not like a psychotic leftist is a fascist, apparently. It's just utterly ridiculous. We've got MSNBC host Chris Hayes writing, "This is the most straightforward attack on free speech from state actors I've ever seen in my life, and it's not even close." Again, who actually shut down the Jimmy Kimmel Live show? It was Nexstar and Sinclair, private corporations that own television stations. And then it was ABC and Disney saying that they were going to preempt the Jimmy Kimmel Live show. This has nothing to do with a state actor. You can say potentially that the FCC comments might have influenced them, but I think Sinclair's actually come out and said it had nothing to do with their decision to pull it. And they had no discussions and no talk with the FCC whatsoever. They made the decision independently. So these people are just like outright lying. They're just outright lying. And that's exactly what Jimmy Kimmel did. So it's not surprising that the people defending a liar are going to be lying. And unfortunately, our society is rife with lies. And that's why we have to stand strong against this stuff, because we got to get back to a society that is based on the truth, that's based on divine law, it's based on natural law that we can reason out with our own minds, that Christ has instructed us to see. You've got actor Ben Stiller saying this isn't right, doesn't provide any kind of commentary, doesn't explain why it's not right, just says it isn't right. Well, it is right. Jimmy Kimmel has no right to lie, and Disney and ABC actually did the right thing from a moral standpoint to no longer air him, given the fact that he is a liar and he is attempting to mislead the public. And in my opinion, it was was engaging to mislead the public in malice. I think he knows what he's doing, and he did it on purpose, and he did it to dupe people and to trick them into buying into the lies that he was selling to them. You've got California Governor Gavin Newsom saying buying and controlling media platforms, firing commentators, canceling shows. These aren't coincidences. It's coordinated and it's dangerous. The GOP does not believe in free speech. They are censoring you in real time. You cannot even make this stuff up. I mean, we literally have what's the guy's name? Zuckerberg, the guy from Facebook, admitting that he would do everything that the Biden admin wanted him to do when it came to censoring people on his platform. You have the Twitter files where they admit that they were working with the Biden administration to censor people as well. I mean, these people are always lying. They lie, they double down, and they project. When they're trying to accuse you of something, it's something that they actually are engaging in, or they have engaged in, or they want to engage in. They are admitting guilt by accusing you of doing something that you're not doing, because that's what they're doing. And we see this all the time. This is probably one of the most insane ones right here. Twitch streamer Hassan Piker. Every corporation is instantly folding to the admin, even when it's over an utterly inoffensive joke the admin doesn't like. What joke? What was the joke, Hassan? Tell me what the joke was, because I didn't see a joke there. I saw him deliberately lying to his audience to spread a false narrative about what motivated the assassin. There was no joke whatsoever. Anyways, he went on and said, liberals need to wake up. We all have to fight back. These wealthy a-holes aren't going to stand up for anything beyond their bottom line. Again, I don't think this is true at all. I think a lot of these corporations are actually captured by the left, and they push leftist ideals because they are run by a bunch of ideologues. I don't actually buy a lot of the profit incentive stuff, given the fact of what we've witnessed over the past decade or so. And then you've got this activist JoJo saying fascism isn't coming to America, it's here. Again, what does fascism even mean anymore? What does that word mean? Like, it just is ridiculous. But these people having total meltdowns, just completely having conniptions over here. And honestly, I think they are trying to kind of take the wind out of the right sails by trying to turn Jimmy Kimmel into some kind of left-wing free speech martyr when he did not engage in free speech. He lied to his audience, and he got his show was rightfully canceled for it. But they are going to try to turn him into a martyr to try to shift the narrative that is surrounding their party. And I think their party is absolutely cooked, because I think more and more people are realizing the truth about who they are. Their goal is to destroy the United States of America. Their goal is to promote degeneracy. Their goal is to destroy people. Their goal is to drag people's souls to hell. And we have to say absolutely no. And we have to call this stuff out. And we have to reject their fake and false narratives, and work to get these people out of these positions of power where they can continue to mislead people. So it is a great thing that Jimmy Kimmel has been preempted. His show has been canceled. But let me know what you guys make of this. I know this is a little bit long video, but let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, and to always, always speak the truth.
Why would you be afraid of the people? Why are you not afraid of God instead of man?